We've got peer support specialists from not just Kansas City, but from all over the Lodge 50 area, Raytown, Lee Summit, all over the place, and we even have people here from Olathe, Overland Park, all trying to help one another deal with this.
What is that? A peer support specialist. Talk about who they are and what they do. I mean, we hear about the department chaplain, but there's more than that.
Yeah, there is. So over the years, we found that police officers and firefighters and people in the first responder worlds tend to respond a little better to the people that do this job. And while we're not trained to provide psychological services, they are trained to recognize people that are in crisis and people that need help, and get them to available resources, whether it be through our HR departments or through our own medical care, and just make sure that if they just need an ear or just need to spend some time with each other, it's clear that policing and being the first responders changed substantially through the decades. And one of the things we do know is that healthier first responders make better first responders, and being able to identify those issues early and address them early just make sure that we don't continue those on through our career and through our lives.
What are some of the things that come up with something like this? I mean, one can only imagine, and not working in that line of work, is it fear? Is it anger? Is it what are and I'm sure different people handle it differently. Can you give me a sense?
Yeah, so I mean, everybody handles these things differently, and they affect everybody differently. Based on how you grew up, who your friends were, your own experiences on the job. For some people, this is going to bring up tragic moments in their own careers that they're going to remember. For others that were there and that know this kid personally, this officer's family, they're your family when you come on these jobs, and we work together and sit by each other and put each other's lives in other people's hands. So everybody's going to have their own specific needs, just depending on where you came from and really your breadth of your experience on the job.
Now, is there any? Let me go back. One of the things when we talk about Officer Moss and Officer Wagstaff, we don't know the specifics of this officer's injuries, but we've been told that they're very serious. We've seen some amazing outcomes of people soldiering through some very serious injuries. You want to speak to that at all?
Yeah, look, our thoughts and prayers go out to him. We're hoping to God that we get a great resolution out of this. We've been very fortunate with Tyler. We've been very fortunate with Tom Wagstaff. And at the end of the day, we know that the doctors and the medical staff and the nurses are going to work diligently and do everything they can possibly do. And our faith is in the medical staff and in God Himself, and hope that we get a good resolution out of something like this.
You mentioned peer support for the officers. Does that? I know that a lot of the wives and children and folks all are. Police is a close-knit community. Does that extend to them as well? Is there support?
Absolutely. If we have somebody it's in our family, our extended family, our personal families that need help. I mean, we have peer support specialists in every single city, and they're well trained, and we have. Most of us have great medical care that we can help provide them to either our employee assistance programs or even different psychologists across the city and the metro. But at the end of the day, we're not going to turn our back on anybody, and I don't care what city you're from. It's no shocker that KCPD and is helping here. There's no shocker that Lee Summit and Blue Springs and Raytown and a long line of people in Olathe and people from Kansas are stepping up, because we've all dealt with tragedy of some way or another, and we all know the pain of this, and we carry it through. I mean, I lost 3 police officers my first year on the job. This is pain that doesn't go away, and it's memories that don't lessen. So we're all going to need some conversation, right? We're all going to need to be here for one another, not just today or tomorrow, but for weeks and months and years to come. I mean, this is the kind of problems or kind of issues that we know is inherent with the job that we accepted. We hope to God it doesn't happen to us or touch us, but it is the reality of being a police officer, is that we're going to do things and show up places that most people wouldn't even understand. And it's not like knocking on the door of a neighbor. We're going to houses and going to, stopping cars of people that have hate in their heart. And when an individual like this, does some monstrous deed, we understand that. It still hurts. And, God forbid, we end up in a situation where we sit here for months and years and trying to figure out what we could have done differently. But we're thankful that we have an incredible family that stands together, and I just want to tell our brothers and sisters in Independence, we're not going to forget this. We're not going to leave them. We're not going to walk away from this. So we're going to be here with them every step of the way, no matter what they need.
Sergeant, along those lines, how tough was it to get the call today, this afternoon, of the incident, and how quickly did you mobilize?
So we responded the second. Excuse me. We responded the second we got the phone call. I mean, it's tough. I mean, come on, I've attended more police officer funerals than I have of any family or friends that I have. That's in cities that I would not normally go to. We've responded to Clinton, Omaha, and actually all over the metro. It's hard, right? So it brings up those memories, and those are the demons we have to deal with down the road. But we're incredibly fortunate. We have loving families that understand what we do for a living, and they keep an eye on us. But we also have to keep an eye on one another because every one of us are going to, pay the price a little bit some way, somehow.
There might be young people out there who want to become future police officers. Your message to them in light of what happened today?
Look, this is a great job. I mean, we get to spend our lives helping people. I mean, think about that. Nobody comes on this job there's no nefarious reason you want to be a cop or even a firefighter. Your life could be forfeit. I mean, that's reality, and you can receive injuries out of this, and whether it be just assaulted or shot or or hit by a car or whatever. I'd say, look, if it's in your heart to help people and to that need. I mean, there are people in critical needs out here every single day that call 911. The narrative out here that police officers are bad and police officers don't care is just insanity. I mean, we have men and women on a daily basis that help people every single day that they've never met before. They put their lives on the line for people that they would never see again. But they do it willfully, and they do it because they know what they swore an oath to do so. So if it's in your heart to be a cop, and it's in your heart to do what you can for the community that you love, then I say do it, because it's been the greatest experience of my life is to spend time doing things for other people.
I know she kind of asked about what's taking place at the hospital, but as far as is it whatever hospital that the officers at, people coming from all over and just constantly with the family and things like that? What have you seen in your career in these situations?
In these situations, when we do have when family shows up, I was one of the first officers there, or the people there, when one of our officers wrecked his motorcycle and lost his legs and eventually was blind, and we were told all these horrible things that he wouldn't survive. I mean, we held their hands, we were with them, we never forgot them. It's one of these things where I think people have to understand that we're more than just a job, right? There's a lot of jobs out there you do and you go home, but this isn't that kind of job. And the families wear the stress of our job differently than families of any other jobs. I mean, there's not a lot of jobs out there that when you kiss your spouse, goodnight, and they go to work, that you won't know whether or not they're going to come back, and if they come back, what they've seen or what they've been exposed to, and what you're going to get back from the day to day. So, the family is going to receive every bit of love that Independence Police Department and their FOP can provide them, because that's exactly what we do.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I'd just say, look, being with with Independence FOP the last couple hours and watching the city manager show up or the manager's office and their HR office, and city employees showing up and showing love to the men and women that do this job, that are just waiting for the best news that they can possibly hear, is just, and people showing up and giving them food, and it's just been incredible to watch. Independence is an amazing community, and they should be incredibly proud of the department that they have, and I think that the members that are getting together today should be proud of the city that they work in too, because it is absolutely amazing to see what their residents have been like and what their city leaders have been like today.
And Brad, I don't need this on camera, but I just want to clarify a few things as I tell the account